All right, so I'm here with Nick. I'm glad to have you here with us for just a couple minutes today. You're actually in our 8-week training right now. You've been in it for a little bit. So just a little bit before that, before we talk about that, just give us a little bit of your background, what you do for a living or what you did for a living, your background in real estate, just a little bit before you got involved in land.
Okay, sure, Jonathan. Thanks for bringing me on. Well, a little bit background. I'm originally from Pittsburgh. I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh area, and 2001, 9/11 happened. 4 days later, I'm at the Navy recruiter's office, and I signed up for the Navy, and the rest is history. Um, I've been in Florida now since 2002, right after school in Pensacola. They stationed me in Mayport, Florida, and I've been there ever since. I was in 8 years, got out honorably, and then I worked at a power plant locally. And then for after a few years, I went contracting, military contracting, and I lived in Kuwait for 2 years. And at the time, I was married, so I had my wife at the time and my daughter over there, and we lived there for 2 years. Came back in 2000, 2013 and signed up for the National Guard, and I flew. It's called the Shadow drone. So I did that for 3 years. And in 2015, I got back into military contracting, and I still do it today. And I go overseas for like three to 4 or 5 month stints at a time. And I'm actually going out here pretty soon back to Iraq. But I was always fascinated by real estate, and over there, got nothing but time on your hands to do stuff like that and look it up. 2018, 19-ish, I was like on Bigger Pockets, like everybody tells you, go on Bigger Pockets, start learning about real estate. And the whole thing, what do you do? Everybody says the same thing: wholesale, and rehab and flip. So I got with my business partner, my cousin, to get into flipping. And November 2019, we started flipping houses, and we did 8 deals by March, right when COVID like hit. And I wholesaled 3 properties. I wholesaled 3. I wholesaled 3. I rehabbed and flipped 2, and then I kept 3 as rentals. Total 8. And then after COVID hit, all the hard money lending, everything dried up. There was no lending out there. So I stopped. I was on pause for a while. Had debt I still needed to pay back to start the business. And then in July, we actually got a motel in Florida, and we flipped it. Got a motel, flipped it, made pretty good deal on it. I was actually scared. I didn't think we were going to get it out. We kind of did like a semi rehab. And so it went out, and then I got into a land program for a while, land investing, because I was sick and tired of houses because the market was crazy last year after everybody started like venturing back out a little bit, like July timeframe. There were still sellers that didn't want to sell, and there was no inventory out there, and I was paying a ridiculous amount of money for marketing, and it just didn't make sense anymore to me. So at that time, I got into a program that was real heavy on like blind offers and everything. And I kind of didn't like the way they do it. Yeah, I learned a lot from it, but I was scared. I didn't really want to do blind offers. Kind of like, I was starting a new thing. I was used to houses. Now I'm getting into land. I was intimidated by it. But looking back now, I'm like, shit, I wish I was started. Sorry, I swore. I wish I was started way back when, and in land, and never did houses, because I would be 10 million times ahead I am today. But make a long story short, I did another free training. Well, this one was free several months back. I think it was November. Week long free training, like an hour a day. Then he did like a quote unquote mastermind, 8 hours a day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Did that. But the whole time it was pushy, salesy. Like I knew it was alluding to. And at the end of the training, they got me with like a concierge, they call it. And literally it's like $40,000. Oh no way. And you weren't even dealing with the main owner. You wouldn't even deal with the owner of the company. You're dealing with like a coach of theirs. So I stumbled across your your Facebook page. I don't know how. I guess because when you're searching land stuff or whatever, and yours popped up, and I joined it, and you had a low number. Other ones have thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands, some of them. And I'm like, oh, you got a low number. Seems like a small community, small, tight knit. And I was reading like your comments, like you're the owner of this company, right? And you're making comments, like giving crazy nuggets to these people, helping them figure out deals for free. So I was kind of intrigued by that. And I reached out to Genius because you don't really salesy on your program. But I saw one time Genius talked about it a little bit. So I reached out to him, talked to him, and we're on a phone. We did a phone meeting for like an hour. Then I was sold on it. So I bought into the program, and now we're on what, week six? Week six, right? Seven.
Yep.
And I started my first. I just looked it up earlier. I started my first mailer. It dropped the first piece of mail dropped April 17th, and today is what, May 12th. So not even a month. I got one contract. I got a lady locked up for $4,000. I overanalyzed it, maybe not. After you helped me reassess it, I thought the values were 20, and you told me it's like probably worth 12, maybe a bit more. Then we just reassessed it. It might be worth a little bit more now because it's kind of like a lake. But, and at any rate, even if it goes out for 12, it's an 8K spread, and I only have a few hours in this deal. Talking to the lady on the phone, all these deals, there's 20 leads, 17 called me, I think, or maybe 21. 17 called me, 2 texted me, and 2 emailed me. And I actually got a wrong address. I got a wrong address back. So I don't know if I want to count that because it was the wrong person. But yeah, so about 21 leads came back out of, it was 1,020 letters. We got our 1,500 free leads from you and Genius through Data Tree. So that's literally what I used my first mailer. 1,500 free leads. I used Rocket Print, which you guys recommended, out of Florida. I'm based out of Florida, so I'm like, yeah, if another Florida company, let me help them out. So after they deduped it. For the people that don't know, dedupe is like the duplicates they scrub. Some people might have a bunch of land. I don't want to know them 5-10 times. So after they deduped it and scrubbed it against the USPS, out of 1,500 leads, I ended up with 1,020. So they mounted 1,020 letters. What is that, like $560, $580 it cost me. And so I got 20 leads, one lady under contract. It's an easily 8K spread. She has another lot. I'm going to try to get for $1,000, maybe a little bit more, but she's kind of dead set on a 2, and I could sell it quickly, probably for 5K, but even still, if I get it for 2, sell for 5, that's $3,000 spread. I mean, the first deal alone from her covers 2 times the cost of this program almost. And then I'm working on a few other deals right now. I got to call the owners back. It's very popular area for builders, and the lots are going anywhere from, what I'm recently searching, anywhere from 20 to 29K. One guy has 2 lots. He wanted 36,000 for it, but if I could get him for 30, if he'll agree to 30, I could turn around and quickly assign him to home builders for 40, 20K a lot. They're acre lots. So that's $10,000 assignment fee just from 2 lots with a few hours worth of work of making phone calls to these builders. And then that's pretty much it. Then I got another potential, depending on how this first deal pans out. It's on a lake. She's on the southeast corner of the lake. And I got another lead on that lake on the southwest corner. So depending on how her deal falls out, what I get it out for. The second guy wanted 11 grand for his. But if I get hers out for 15, 16, and I could talk him down to 7, 8K, I'll lock it up for 7, 8K and out it for 15, 16. I mean, all day, because I know, because the other one in that lake sold for X amount. So it'll give me good data for the other lot. So, I mean, all in all, like, maybe I got lucky on my first mailer, or maybe it's because like I'm truly now looking at it as a business and not a hobby. This is my out. I don't want to go overseas anymore. I don't want to go to Iraq, Afghanistan, none of these crap hole countries. I'm done. Like my daughter's 13. I missed like half of her last 6 years of me doing this new contracting gig. I've been doing it since 2015. So literally 3 years of her life I've been overseas. So I just want I want freedom. I want time freedom, never get back time, so if I could buy back my time from doing this, that's all I really want. You know what I mean? If I become a millionaire eventually from it, it happens. But at this point in my life, I'm about to be 41 in 12 days. So I'm going to spend well, no, I'll be home. I'll be home. Then literally 3 days after that, I'm on a plane to go quarantine in Iraq for 7 days. So I'm just over it. And this compared to houses, like, oh my God. And I've talked to several people who run houses before and they got on land and they never want to go back. And I never want to go back. After my first mailer, I got this many. If I did 1,000 letters to house people right now, like distress, the old typical list, I don't care if it's water shut off. I don't care if it's a triple stack with vacant, back taxes, and water shut off. It doesn't matter. Like they already had like a stack of letters and 50 phone callers and text messages.
Wouldn't do anything.
It's like competition is nuts, and they're buying these houses. It doesn't even make sense.
So that's cool. I mean, let me just ask you. I mean, you gave a lot of information there, so I mean, we don't have to go long with it here. But I mean, for those listening to this, you sound like a pro. I mean, it sounds like you've been doing this like years. The way you like broke that down. I mean, so that's stuff that basically you've gotten from the training, right? I mean, we've talked about that and you've asked questions in the training because we're giving question and answer things. I mean, you've been very interactive with it and getting, so do you feel, I mean, here we are, we're talking about, week 7, so 7 out of 8 weeks, and we're not even done yet, but do you feel with what you've done so far, like, hey, this is really setting me up? Because you said I'm viewing this as a business. So is this really setting you up to have a running business? Because we're talking one mailing that you're doing this from. And like you said, I mean, you basically, I mean, we're not talking about massive get rich deals here, but it's enough. You've doubled, you've paid off your investment in this. You've paid off what you spent for a list, or those were free leads, but you paid off what you paid for your mailing cost, and you chose to use a mailing house, which people don't have to do. But again, you've paid off those things. You're going to have extra money from that. You're setting yourself up. So how do you feel like you're set based on this training and what you've gone through for what your goal is? Hey, I'm doing this as a business now and running it like that.
100%. Like I guess it's analysis paralysis, right? Before I had analysis paralysis, getting into houses when I got started, it's the initial like jump. Once you jump and you get started and you're actually moving, then that analysis paralysis goes away. And after the COVID thing last year, and it stopped my whole, like everything stopped in my tracks for flipping. And I had this debt to pay back, you know what I mean? A lot of capital intensive. So I kind of had analysis paralysis getting in land. And then after what you were saying and other people in our group, what is there, 8, 9 of us, I think it's a small group in our training, and knowing what these other guys are doing, a few deals here and there, it just gave me all that more confidence. And literally Genius was like, we're going to give you free leads. You contact these guys at Rocket Print, and that's it. And literally that's all I did. I got the leads. I picked my area that I wanted. I'm in Florida. If people care, it doesn't matter where you go. It literally doesn't matter. I just picked it because I was, it's my backyard, but I'm actually going to get out of Florida eventually because it's the
backyard in the same state, but nowhere near where you live. So
nowhere near. Yeah. Nowhere near where I'm.
It's not really your backyard, but yeah, I mean, and we're not going to get into where you've done these things. And the thing that's funny is, I mean, you didn't even bring up, I mean, when we were going over your deals, there's actually one in there that I looked at. I was like, you've actually got a potential for the potential of maybe a $20,000 plus deal in there based on literally a comp, just a couple properties away that sold in the last 10 days, right? So it sold in the last 10 days or 12 days or something like that. And you know what you can get it for and what the owner's telling. I mean, so, I mean, you have the potential just in that for another. So you might be breaking, $40,000 from one mailing, from your first mailing and just running the business. So, but you feel like, hey, you obviously, because one thing I want to make clear is, I mean, you were having these conversations, you were taking what we gave you with the training and what we went over, and you had these conversations and you did this stuff on your own. It wasn't like, hey, let me run all this stuff by them. I mean, we did talk about it after the fact, but it was literally like, here's my numbers, here's my spreadsheet, this is what I did, because we include that time with you, and we went over things, but you pretty much had it down. I mean, you weren't, like you said, you overanalyzed, overvalued a little bit, or undervalued here and there, but in reality, the ones that you said were good buys are the ones that you said maybe weren't, and you pretty much had that. But moving forward now, and me helping you just a little bit further after that, I mean, you feel like you're, hey, I'm golden now. I'm ready to run this.
I'm ready. I'm ready to put the nitrous on the car and kick it.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. Jonathan, I'm pumped, man. Like, knowing I might make literally almost like 40K gross in my first month, like, it's unheard of, like, with houses, especially now. It's just like, these people are just laying over their deals to you. Like, it's crazy. Like, they don't have that sentimental value with land. And I'm understanding it now with the 20 people I talk to. It's not, yeah, granted, you have the typical, just like houses. I want $300,000 for my single wide trailer. You know what I mean? Like, they want 3 times the amount that it's market value for their lot. You're going to have that, just like anything in business, right? They think their car or their little coin they have is worth X when it's really not. The market doesn't dictate. Yeah. The market dictates what the price is. Sure. So, I mean, that's just, okay, on to the next one. Okay, on to the next one. And you just want to grab them low-hanging fruits.
And that'll never go away. I mean, you could be in, the worst economy ever. Right. People are still going to think that they're, it's just the way it works. I mean,
I just want to, like, know people, like, so they don't get
that. Sure.
They don't get frustrated. Like, they think it's the norm. It's not the norm.
Yeah. So I guess the only question I would ask you then, and we haven't talked about this, but, just curiosity and what you would tell anybody else. I mean, if somebody's sitting here, they're watching this and they're like, it is some money. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, they got to put some money forward. You did, is it worth it? Do you get the value? What's it going to translate into?
Well, the thing I really liked about it too, Jonathan, like, with the other programs were like, I don't know, what's 6, 7, 8 times the amount, 8 times, 6, 7 amount. You're not even dealing with the owner of the company. You're dealing with like a coach, right? And this coach, how many deals did they really do? 30, 40, and they got into this program and they're getting paid coaching, fees or whatever. You've done over 1,000 deals. You've been brokering land deals for 10 plus years. Like, I don't care what anybody tells me. If I'm going to take knowledge from somebody that did 50 deals or 100, let's just say 100 deals or 1,000, guess which way I'm going to run? Like anybody in life, they say you're not an expert in something unless you have 10,000 hours in it, right? That's when you become an expert, and you have well over 10,000 hours in this. So, having said all that, like, you straight up teaching us, like, it's a business in a box. I don't care what anybody says. It's an investment. Like college, they say it's an investment anymore. Like, who knows? But it is if you want to change your life, and even if it means like tying up a credit card, nothing will work in life, no program, I don't care how the best program in the world, if you don't have that drive and you don't get out of your own way, you're never going to do it. You just got to get over the fear, the analysis paralysis, send out your mailers, like you say, like, just follow the program, which I literally did. Genius. And you said, contact Rocket Print. You're going to deal with this person, give them the leads and let it go. And that's what I did. And my phone started ringing and I just started talking to the people, and I wasn't nervous because I already talked with people in houses, but even people that never started real estate, you just literally talk to these people. That's all you got to do. Get a little bit of basic information on it. Look up on Zillow, go on a county assessor website, do your comps and figure out what the value is worth. And then you send them a letter back. My first few deals is a little different because I'm trying to rush it because I'm going to Iraq, but I can't sustain that and build a business like I want. I don't have the time for all that. It's too time intensive. So I am going to do the letters out, the offer letters out. It's way easier and you're not dealing with people. You get a contract back.
I mean, that's one of the nice things about this business, not to interrupt you, but I mean, we talk about that in the training, was that you can adapt on the fly if you need to in these circumstances. I mean, that was one of the things we worked with you was like, hey, I'm leaving and I got to just get a couple things going like ASAP. you had that. And so we were like, okay, well, we just talked about that. I mean, you could shift and you could be like, hey, let's do this and let's use this format and let's let's do these things that we don't normally do, because it's like you've got this crunch. But you realize moving forward, it's like, hey, that's not the way I'm going to do it, because I can't, I can't be on the phone negotiating with people left and right, which is great. But at least you're still getting you're getting the deals. I mean, this is a signed contract. I mean, you posted it in the group the other day. I mean, it's not like this is just people saying, I'm interested in selling. I mean, you literally got a signed contract on a piece of property. You've got others that have given you numbers and you're sending them contracts. I mean, this isn't like pie in the sky. Like, I mean, because people can say all the time, like, oh, somebody will sell me a piece of property and I've gotten 20 phone calls, but until they actually do something, it doesn't mean anything. You've got signed contracts in front of you. You've got negotiated prices and you're sending out others and people are ready to move forward. So
the other one too, like you were just talking about, the one that sold in end of April 29th, it sold for $30,000. They're all 1 acre lots. And then 2 on that same street, when we looked at them, they sold in 2019 for $15,000. When I talked to them on the phone, they said they got an offer at the beginning of the year for $7,200. So I know, I mean, even if I lock it up for that price at 7,200, it's an easy $15,000 property. But that was 2 years ago, before the market was crazy as it is now. So it's
literally a couple of house lots away, same size, sold for 30 grand. So it's showing you what it is. And just the fact on that one, I mean, we're not going to get into details on who it is, but I mean, you've already got somebody that's willing to, at minimum, you've actually already got a friend of yours that you could assign the deal to and walk away with a few $1,000s. Now, it's not the smartest move, and we've talked about that, and that, but I mean, at minimum, it's like, it's still, for pushing some paper, you can walk away with a few $1,000s, right? So it's like, it's just an extra little thing. So, all right, well, it's awesome. I'm really happy for you. It's great. And that, I know you basically, I mean, you said September 11th. I mean, we're pushing 20 years. So it's basically been the last 20 years of your life. And here you are now kind of making that transition, and you're already seeing results within the first month, really. I mean, we've been in training for 7 weeks, but I mean, you literally mailed these a month ago, and you're already seeing these results. So super happy for you. Glad you trusted us. And I'm glad that, we were able to help you, change your life now moving forward and grow this business. So Nick, thanks a lot for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jonathan.